Awesome, wonderful. We want to welcome everyone again today, and we'll get started shortly. We're just going to allow some time for our other participants to join us. And this is going to be recorded. It's going to be in YouTube, and I will be embedding the YouTube in that community link shortly. And Wouter, do you need the full 30 minutes or more than that today?
No, I actually expect it to be a little bit less than 30 minutes.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure that we stay on time schedule since we're just 1 minute over the hour. So I want to make sure, again, this is being recorded.
Yeah,
Let's wear
we
all
can wait 1 more minute. No.
Okay, great. I hope everyone is enjoying their knowledge sessions. I think it's fantastic that we are recording them for all of our users to be able to engage and get the content that they want when it's available to them, or so they can do their own time schedules. And I think that's been one of the positive benefits of going digital. And again, just make sure that everyone knows that we are recording this, and it is going to be available on the community link that I've provided in the chat. Well, we're 2 minutes over. Do you want to go ahead or do you want to wait?
Let's wait 1 more minute, and then we'll get started.
Great. Wish I had some groovy music queued up, but I tried that in the past. It just kind of complicated the audio.
Well, the first time it worked, right?
Yeah. I guess I could put some on. I think I have one. Here we go. Now we have more guests coming. So that's great. All right. Let's see if I can do this.
We have music.
All right. Well, we are 3 minutes over the hour, so let's go ahead and get started and welcome everybody to another knowledge event. Let's go. Take it away.
Thank you, Lisa, and welcome everyone at the Success Meetup session on how predictive intelligence is helping us in creating the tickets, incidents, cases via Agent Workspace or the Service Portal. My name is Wouter de Waal. I am a ServiceNow Certified Master Architect and working for Fruition Partners in the Netherlands. I'm implementing the ServiceNow platform for more than 8 years, and I've touched different products in the ServiceNow platform, like ITSM, HR, security operations, but always had a strong focus in Service Portal and new innovations. My current project is implementing a Service Portal with a large service catalog and knowledge management. With that Service Portal, also looking at the user experience, looking at the virtual agent, but also looking at predictive intelligence and how that is improving the user experience. And not only for the Service Portal, but also for the Agent Workspace. Right. For today, I've set up a small agenda with 5 topics talking about the goal. What do we want to achieve within the project with using predictive intelligence, and how can you start with that? And then I'll talk a little bit about the concepts of predictive intelligence and about the baseline prediction flow. So you at least have a good idea of how the predictive intelligence works within ServiceNow. And then I'll show you our example of predicting a business service or a category based on the short description and description of an incident. Because there are many sessions about predictive intelligence, right, and how to set it up. But I really want to have this session focusing on get it done and really showing that it's working for us, and also enabling you to do the same thing. So finally, talking about the next steps, what else can we use within predictive intelligence besides selecting the category or service. All right, so our goal and what we wanted to achieve is that we want to use predictive intelligence to automatically populate the fields during ticket creation. And we want to do it based on the history of the incidents that we have. And I'll talk about that history of incidents or any record type, right? If you work with HR cases or CSM cases, you can do exactly the same thing as long as you have a good history or amount of data that you need, of course. And we're doing this because we want to improve the user experience. One of the challenges that we have, and many customers are having that if you have a service model and a user, an end user, needs to provide the service that is related to his issue. Or maybe during the incident creation or case creation, you ask the user, what is the category of your incident? Right. Well, why are you asking that question? Because the user doesn't care about it, right? He just wants his issue created or issue solved, let's say. So we're using predictive intelligence to improve the user experience for the end user, but also helping the agents in the agent workspace. Reducing the reassignments, because using that history and using predictive intelligence, we know based on the history, we know what the assignment group, service, or category should be, right? So improving that. And that also brings us to a faster mean time to resolve and having the issues at the right team, the right information available, and maybe providing solutions, right, already based on previous created incidents. But the goal I want to show today is really focusing on populating the business service field within an incident creation, right? Because that is a challenge that we had, and I want to show you that that can work very easily, and that can be a good starting point to start with predictive intelligence. The overall concept of predictive intelligence, say, well, you need about 100,000 of requests, right? There are 100,000 of requests in your instance. So you are an existing customer and you have lots of history data in your instance, or lots of tickets are generated each month. So you want to use that. And by using that set of data, and by the way, minimal required of tickets is 10,000 tickets, incidents, HR cases, right? But a good starting point is if you have 30,000 incidents, you can get a good prediction. The maximum, by the way, is 300,000 incidents, right? So set the right filter based on, you might want to have your closed incidents for the last 6 months. If that is a good number, you want to use that data set. That data set is used by predictive intelligence, and really that model is trained and knowing based on which keywords, based on which sentences, to which service it should go. Or if you use the standard ServiceNow flow, it says, well, you can predict the category, predict the assignment group, or predict the priority of your incident, right? But I'm going one step further and saying, I don't want these three, well, maybe in the future, but today, I want to show you when predicting the business service. And we do that with the same concept and the same application called predictive intelligence in ServiceNow. So how does that work in the baseline? If you activate predictive intelligence and you want to predict that service when an incident is created, how that works is the user or the agent provides a description of that incident, right? Because we have that based on the description. On submit, a business rule is triggering the prediction API. So that means you will have to submit your incident, right? Really save that incident. And after saving, the prediction will be triggered. It will take out the sentence of the description and calculates that through the prediction model. That then comes back with a confidence level saying based on the sentence and based on the history of your tickets, it should go to the email category. Keep in mind, this is all happening after the update, right? So in case you create that via the service portal, the user doesn't see this service yet until he saved it. Right? Whereas in most ServiceNow implementations, especially existing ServiceNow implementations, they always had that category field or the service field on the form, and we expect the user to fill that in. Right? So that's happening on the front end. So what we are doing within our implementation, we are also bringing that to the front end, to the form itself. So what I'm going to show you later on is that we're not doing that after the save or the submit, but we'll bring that forward using a client script and triggering that API client side, really in the browser itself. In that case, we can also verify the prediction with the user itself. We can say we are this confident that it should be this category or this service. Do you agree, or do you still want to change that? Right? So that is something we're really seeing the benefit of, and that's something we have created in our implementation. So let's have a look at the demo of doing that, achieving the prediction of the service based on the incidents. And therefore, we have set up a solution definition within predictive intelligence. And for the sake of time, I just took the screenshots and a video instead of going live into my instance. So what we have configured in the instance in the solution definition, so we've created a classification template, whereas we have the output field set to the service. Right? So that is predicting the service in the incident table. We're saying the input fields is the short description and the description, but it can also be other fields, right? We can also say the solution. There's a lot of text in there that we want to help to predict a better outcome. But to keep it simple and to start, right, we're using the short description and description to then predict the service as an output field. And we are taking the data of the incident table where the active is false, which means we are only taking the closed incidents, and they are created within the last 6 months. Right? So we want to have new data, and the data should be accurate to use as well. We don't want too old data to use in there. Right? And you can see based on the filter, I have 45,000 tickets, which should be okay to do a proper prediction. At least to start with and to play with and to help you get going. Right? Because after you train this, if you click on update and retrain, it will train, which will take some time, of course, because it's really going to that prediction server within the same data center and creating that prediction model. Right? Before you actually implement that and work that and bring it to production, you have to see if that training model is good enough, or you will have to make some tweaks on the thresholds that how confident should it be, right? But that is a simple solution definition. So let's have a look at a short demo from the agent workspace. And what we have configured is that we have a call and an incident, whereas call is as well a type of task. Right? So we've changed the order of the form. I'm really saying, well, we're starting with the caller, the business user, and then providing that short description and description. And then all the other fields are shown. Because based on the description, we predict the service. And you can see actually, when I pause it, is that we have provided the short description and the description. And we're still in that description and starting typing, right? But based on that short description, using the agent workspace, you already have the agent assist. Right? That is showing you related knowledge articles based on your short description. That might help you solving the incident or the ticket right away. Right? But if I leave that description field, my client script will be triggered. Right? My own change client script will be triggered. And based on these two fields, the descriptions of the incident, we are going to fill in the business service. Right? So that is something that you will see happening. But as you saw in my earlier slides and look at the ServiceNow baseline, we can also predict other fields. We can say if this is your description based on the history of tickets, the impact or the urgency should be this, right? Of course, you can change it later on, but as a starting point, this should be it, right? Think about assignment group. In this case, my assignment group will be filled based on my service. So that is something that's actually the reason why we say we want to have that service predicted and not the assignment group. All right, so let me continue playing this. You'll see when I put my mouse outside of the description field, that client script is triggered and the business service will be filled in. So you can see it is automatically set to Office 365 Outlook team based on the description. And we even provide a confidence level to them, saying we're successfully able to select a business service, and we're 99% confidence that it should be that business service. Of course, we are using the prediction intelligence, right? So we are probably never 100% in the prediction. So the user can always change that afterwards. We are filling that in, but the user can change it. Just to make sure that, all right, we are making that prediction, we are not 100% sure, right? So you can override it. And that is the agent workspace and helping the agents in selecting the right service. We have a similar thing for the service portal, because you can also create a incident or any other type of ticket via the service portal, right? And we really had a challenge for the end users to select the right service. So we said, this is definitely something we want to have on the service portal. So let's have a look at the demo of the service portal, where we are creating a new ticket. We start, of course, with the user, open on behalf of, but then the next two fields are the short description and the description. And we are doing exactly the same thing. So when I change the description and remove the focus, the service will be populated. And on top of the screen, there is a message with a confidence level, right? In the future, we're probably showing that at the field level, right? So it's more visual for the users. At this moment, it's just a ServiceNow info message. But the user can change it. And because we're still in the early phase of implementing predictive intelligence, we're not 100% sure. So again, the end user, before we had predictive intelligence, he had to select it, right? Nothing will help him selecting the right service, actually. So we are now moving forward with predictive intelligence and are really improving there. And after each training, we are improving the prediction as well and make sure that we're really helping that user in selecting the right service. And this can be achieved very easily, right? And for the technical person in the meeting, or maybe you are watching this back, so you can have a look at the script as well. And this is not very well documented, or it used not to be very well documented, right? Of course, you have that business rule that is triggering that. But if you want to use that from your client side, how does that work? Right? So there are some APIs available that I just wanted to highlight. I'm not going line by line what it does, but in case you want to do exactly the same thing, I'm just highlighting that there is a specific API that you can use, whereas you have to provide your solution definition from the solution definition that I showed before the videos, and also providing the text that you're using within that prediction, right? The short description and the description. That will then return your confidence level, which you can show in the agent workspace or in your service portal. And it's that easy to use, actually, right? And also that client script is just opening or calling that that script include via Glide Ajax. So that is something that anyone can do. But of course, the machine learning predictor API, yeah, that was something that was not really good documented. So I especially wanted to highlight that in this session. And with that, you can achieve exactly the same thing, predicting something based on the history and doing that on the client side, right? Either doing that via the service portal, directly on that form, on the record producer, or any other form that you are showing, or within the agent workspace. So what are our possible next steps? Because this is nice, right? We can predict something based on the history, and we're really saving that effort from the end users or the agents. They don't have to think about it anymore. But of course, that requires ongoing training and ongoing maintenance. So we will have a separate data team who will look into the predicting data and the training models that will be returned, looking at these thresholds and changing the confidence levels of each of these trainings. So that's ongoing. But besides that, of course, we want to use that for other fields as well. Right? Maybe predicting a category, a priority, etc., which can be exactly done in the same way. But there are other ways or other things that we can use from predictive intelligence. The similarity framework, for example, right? Identifying similar incidents and propose a major incident out of that. If you have 6 incidents that are created on that day, which have a kind of similar description, right? Predictive intelligence will know that and will say, well, you might want to create a major incident. Clustering, another thing that we can use. Clustering similar incidents and maybe identifying the problems that you can create. So really helping that and seeing, well, these are my incidents that are created in the past and analyzing that data. Then in Orlando, there is a new feature introduced, which is the knowledge demand insights, which will identify your knowledge gaps. It will know your incidents that are solved and there was no knowledge article available. So we show that gap and we visualize that to the knowledge creators so they know where to improve later on. And by doing that, we definitely improve the user experience, but also improve our overall service that we provide to our end users. And I want to close off with that, with thanking you for your participation, for joining the session. I know it was a little bit shorter session than my previous sessions, but I hope it explained very well in what you can do with predictive intelligence and how easy or how quick you can set it up to predict specific fields and save time from your end users. So if there are some questions, we do have time left for some questions. Otherwise, this will be posted on the community and you can always ask your questions over there. If someone is interested in the script includes and client script, feel free to ask that as well in the community and I will send them over to you. As I would like to thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for your presentation today. And I'm not seeing any questions come in, but again, I'm going to reiterate that you can please post your questions later on that community link, and you can also rewatch this this video. So thank you so much in this presentation. So have a great day.